So I have just found another angel, and I have actually forgotten what her name was. Something beginning Ashley? Ties? I know. Ashley Land. Something Land. Or was it Ties? I don't know. I have no idea who this singer is because I swear I've never seen or heard anything. It's really strange how these singers get like there's so many of them. Why are there so many of them? I think the reason why the population is as big as it is because obviously my higher self wanted to fund as many films and songs as possible. If the population, I think when I first started making timelines, the population would have been very small, but because the population would have been very small, there would have been only so many artists that you could work with because there wasn't enough funding to go around and make more singers because money is what controls these singers. And I think I don't know what's going on, but I feel like a lot of things are controlled by money because of all the stories that I'm hearing about people being sued and companies or making a song that sounds slightly like another and then other companies getting involved and just suing people. I don't know what's going on, and I don't know who's involved, and I don't know what these people are actually like, but there's a lot and lots and lots of songs, and I think the reason why there is because the population is big, and I feel like then the whole reason why the population is big is to try and get lots of producers to feel like they need to earn money and then to go off and chase the money by making songs and stuff. But yeah, I think if you look at it from a bigger perspective, you're all just slaves and you're all just working really hard to make lots and lots of songs because there are so many songs. It feels fake how many songs there are. Like it's been years. I've been going through this for years. And I just see song after song after song after song, and okay, that a lot of these songs can be filmed in a very low budget, but a lot of these films are expensive. Each set costs money. It's just weird to think how so much effort and so much time has gone into it, and I've basically spent my whole life just lying in a bed being really pissed off because I can't do anything and no one's talking to me or communicating with me, or they're communicating with me but through an internet, and it feels like there's a person that's my higher self is controlling the internet and I'm talking to, and it's just very, very confusing, and it's very horrible, and it's horrible to think that I might have a long time to go. I if I wanted to not work, I can, because now that I've got 5,000 coming in from this house that I'm renting out, I have enough money to live off. The problem is, it's just occurred to me now, that the only reason I've got I've got 4,000 in a really high interest rate account that I don't want to touch because of it's being a high interest rate, and then it's only 6%, but it's just higher than anything else that I could get. But then I've got a second one that's got 18,000 in it, and that's got 2.7, which is very low interest, but at the same time it's high enough because it's a lot more higher than anywhere else I'd get. The problem is I could only get the interest rate if I put in £200 a month, and it's just occurred to me now that now that I'm only earning 5,000, I'm not going to be able to put in 2,200 a month because I don't have that kind of I don't have enough. I won't by the end of the year. Right now I'm okay. I've got a few hundred, and in a couple of months' time, well, my sister's on zero and in her bank, so she probably would like to. We'll dig into the rental account and split it. Every time I take money out, she has to get the same amount. But yeah, so I've got enough to keep me going till Christmas, or probably till just before. But yeah, if I'm going to have to be living off 5,000 whilst also putting in 2,200 into an account that I can't take money out of, it's occurred to me that I'm going to run out. So either I have a choice of going back to work, which I really don't want to, because considering everything that I'm going through, inspiring the whole music industry, time traveling, and then to feel like I have to go back to doing a job that I don't want to do, one that doesn't give me any appreciation, or it's not like it does, but it gives me appreciation for things I don't want to be appreciated for. I don't want to be appreciated because I can give someone a hand job, but I don't do that. But people come assuming that I can do that or I will do that, and that's the horrible part of massage, which is that most people, it's the phone calls that piss me off more. The phone calls, most of the phone calls you get are people wanting sex. 50% of the calls that I get are people who assume that I'm a prostitute, and that is the downside of doing massage. And I don't want to have to go back to doing this job because I'm going to have to start handling these fucking phone calls again. And to do that whilst knowing that I'm a god who I believe thousands of people know, and thousands of people are helping me. So I don't know. I don't know if I can find a way of keeping the money in the account at the high rate, but just not putting any money in. You can't take money out. If you want to take money out, the whole account, I think you have to close the account down if you want to take money out. It's a save to buy account, so I think you can't take money out unless it's to buy a property. But yeah, I don't know if I have to put in. Do I have to put in 2,200 a year, or I need to go and ask that question. Maybe I don't have to. If I don't have to, then it means that I don't have to go back to working. But if I do have to, then it kind of does mean that I have to go back to working, just because I don't know. I mean, I would like to buy another 10% of my sister's of the house in Birmingham, but my sister doesn't want to do that because I don't understand what's going on with my sister. You know, she's not well. She's bought this really nice 2-bedroom flat, and I was like, oh wow, this is so good. You know, you've got a room for you, room for your partner, well, same room, and then you've got room for your kids. And you know, she just got her child back 2 months ago, and it's amazing because the room was empty. I was like, why is the child's room empty? I thought you were going to have the children in here. It's like, oh no, I'm renting it out. So she's literally renting out her second bedroom to make £500 a month. Now it's worth more. She could probably get about 900, but she's giving on a discount rate because she knows this person, or it's a friend, and she's on a circle, so the social workers have seen her and approved her. But she's also got a boyfriend, so her boyfriend might come around. So there might be, I don't think she understands that living with people is difficult. Like, she has lived with people, but she's not very mentally bright, and she doesn't really understand, you know, the people that she was living with didn't like her because of habits, and you know, she might not like this person because of habits. You know, they might be up all night, they might be causing problems or making a mess in the living room, and yeah, I know she's got the second flat, she's still got the 1 bedroom, but my mum's renting that out, and my mum's a hoarder, so she's going to be filling that flat up with as much junk as possible, like, knowing her. And my sister's even going to probably put all her junk in that flat and just treat it like a junk flat because it's Linda's flat, and she doesn't have any respect for Linda's home. But yeah, Linda doesn't have any respect for her home because she lives like a mess. But I just think that's wrong. You know, you've just got your son back, not because of anything you've done, but because something your partner has done. Your partner has worked really hard to try and get your son back, and the first thing you do, oh, we'll buy a second, 2-bedroom flat, perfect, great, and then you go and rent out one of the rooms. Oh, we would have rented out one of the other flat, and then just lived us here, but we couldn't live. We couldn't live with Linda, and I couldn't live with Linda, so I get that. But yeah, I think though Sophie doesn't also realise, she thinks she's richer than she is, because she doesn't realise that tax is very expensive, and if you're renting out properties, you can't just not pay the tax, you know. They haven't got her yet on that property, but that property was different because there was 3 of us 2 years ago, and for the first 2 years we did spend a lot of money on renovation, so there wasn't really any tax coming in because we spent about 15,000 on getting a new kitchen and carpeting, and there was a whole big list of things that we did to get the house up. We had to take down one of the walls. We did and change everything. We'd made quite a lot of changes to that, so there wasn't any interest in the first year or the second year, and the third year was lockdown, so the house we did rent it out, but not very much. Like, the amount of money that we made in the first few years was very minimal, and it was only more about getting back money that we'd put into the property. But yeah, it's weird to think that Sophie thinks that she's going to be able to pay this mortgage off, this massive mortgage that she's got in 2 years, and yeah, I mean, it's good that she's renting out the room if it was to pay off the mortgage, but it's not. She doesn't want to rent off the room to pay off the mortgage. She wants to rent off the room so she can use it as a deposit and then take a second loan out on the current flat that she has, that the first one that she had. So take out a second mortgage on the first one and buy a third house, so that she can rent it out more and just give money to the banks, basically. She doesn't care about the kids and losing the bedroom of her kids. She cares about making more money and giving all all the profit that she's making to the banks whilst thinking that she's richer because the property values are going up, even though the property that she has just bought is actually £10,000 less than what it was 10 years ago. You know, that's a bad sign. When you're buying a property that's £10,000 less than what it was 10 years ago, okay, it might go up, but I feel like it's a sign that things are not going up, and therefore she shouldn't think that having a £300,000 mortgage on a house that she can't actually afford to have, and thinking that it's going to get her a better quality of life, and yet to pay off this mortgage she's going to be renting out her child's bedroom. I can't believe her. You know, on one hand, I would rent out the property if I really needed the money, but she doesn't really need the money, because, you know, if she wanted to sell off another 10% of the house, she could do it, and that would benefit me, because then I don't have to worry about having it in a high interest rate account that I have to pay money into, money that I don't actually have, and I'm going to run out in about a year. I'm going to run out quite quickly. So I don't know if I would either have to take it out of that account and just put it in a lower interest rate account, or if I have to start working again. I mean, I could just work for 3 months but it's the phone calls that annoy me, with people expecting me, or people coming saying, oh, I know you said you didn't do it, but I thought I would convince you. And to have to do that when you know you're so much better than that, you know, it's awful.